Hey guys, Adam here. Today's guide is on Hardmode Veteran Crypt Parts 1 in the Elder Scrolls Online. This dungeon is full of undead skeletal mobs, including bone colossus enemies, undeads, skeletons, and ghosts, all of which are weak to Fighters Guild abilities. The sets found in Crypt of Hearts 1 and 2 include the Shroud of the Lich set, the Leviath set, and the Ebon Armory set. Crypt of Hearts 1 has 6 bosses, the tactics for which will be covered in general terms, as well as role-specific ones. The first boss, the Mage Master, is a simple start to the dungeon, with a few skeleton mage adds and a powerful melee attack against his target. Killing this boss shouldn't take more than a minute, and is an easy warm-up for the challenges ahead. The next boss is Archmaster Siniel, a necromancer with a few simple mechanics. He has a Ghost Fear attack which lasts about 3 seconds and is cast on a random member of the group. The boss periodically gains damage immunity for 5 seconds before summoning undead adds. These are rather squishy, so it is worth using AoE attacks to dispatch them quickly before the boss's damage immunity ends. After Siniel becomes vulnerable again, he creates a blue circular AoE attack around him, which covers the area of the circle on the floor that he stands in. Melee DPSs and the tank don't have much choice other than to preemptively leave the area during the boss's immunity phase, and continue attacking the boss after the AoE. Or simply just take the damage, and hope the healer's paying attention. Tanks should be aware of Siniel's heavy attack, which should always be blocked. Healers should be ready to panic heal as soon as the boss uses his AoE attack, and DPSs should keep away from the boss if ranged and leave the circle before the AoE if they are melee. The third boss in the dungeon is Death's Leviathan. This is a massive bone colossus with some powerful AoE abilities in his arsenal. Be aware that once this boss drops below 50% health, he gains a fire buff, which increases his damage significantly. For this reason, it is best to save ultimates and resources for the second part of the fight, in order to minimize your group's time spent fighting the buffed boss. The Colossus has a quick and deadly charge attack every 20 seconds, something easily avoided by DPSs and the healer if they stand behind or to the boss's sides. The boss kneels down before a red AoE box appears in front of the boss, showing his path, before he launches forwards. The tank should look out for both the animation and the AoE box and simply roll to the side to avoid the charge. The second AoE attack which this boss uses is a massive red expanding circle that quickly devastates those standing in it once it reaches its maximum radius. This cannot be dodged by the tank or melee DPSs, who should do all they can to minimize the damage they receive from it. It's possible to activate defensive cooldowns and block, but escape is only a possibility for those already on the periphery of the circle at the start of the attack. Keep in mind that this attack can instantly kill players in the buffed boss phase. The fourth boss, Uulkar Bonehand, is a wraith-like mage who is perhaps more similar to a mini-boss, making for a very easy fight. He has 2 notable mechanics. One is an AoE attack involving several small red circles that appear around the room, eventually exploding and unleashing chains that do a fair bit of damage to anyone unable to dodge them. This AoE isn't too frightening on its own, but used in tandem with the boss's binding attack, which immobilizes players for several seconds, can catch you off guard and potentially be fatal. Because of the AoE attack, it can be dangerous spending several seconds standing still to revive, which is why it may be easier to leave a DPS dead for the rest of the fight, rather than trying to res him and consequently dying. The fifth boss, Dogas the Beserker, is another easy fight, and certainly the last easy fight in the dungeon. In the footage you're seeing now, we did it with only 3 players from a pug group. The fight starts with a large group of adds that don't respawn, making the fight progressively easier as it goes on. Focus on binding the adds and AoEing them, making for an easy tank and spank fight afterwards. The only other notable mechanic in the fight is the boss's AoE health steal attack, which can be annoying if all group members are leeched from, as the boss's health steal is then 4 times stronger than it otherwise would be. The boss creates a medium-sized AoE circle around himself, which completely incapacitates anyone caught in it for several seconds. Ranged DPS can easily avoid this by keeping at a distance. The tank is unlikely to succeed in avoiding this attack, along with the melee DPSs. The boss has no high damage abilities, meaning that's a very difficult fight to lose, and the worst that can happen is the boss healing an insignificant amount every now and then. The sixth and final boss fight of the dungeon is against a pair of mages, Ilambris Zavin and Ilambris Athor. These two make for the most difficult fight in the dungeon, and will most certainly kill anyone not paying attention, or who is unaware of the fight's mechanics. In this video, we're doing the veteran hard mode version, with a pug group, which illustrates how easy it is to die if you don't know what you're doing. Before you start the fight, keep in mind that exiting the circular area that the two bosses are located in will reset the fight, so don't stray out in an attempt to avoid AoE. This is a highly technical fight with different phases, 2 different bosses with different attacks and weapons, and some very dangerous AoE. To begin with, the tank should taunt both the bosses. The fire one uses a staff and ranged attacks, while the lightning one uses an axe and follows his target around the room. Your group can either spend most of the fight in the first phase by keeping both bosses alive and lowering their health at an equal rate before finishing one off and starting the second phase, or focus one after the other. Here we elect to do just that and kill the fire boss first. The most important thing to watch out for in the first phase are Zavin, the fire boss's circular fire AoE attacks, which engulf the central elevated platform he stands on in flames. Athor, the lightning boss, has a powerful heavy attack that is easy to see beforehand due to Athor's charging animation. The tank must block this, otherwise they will almost certainly die. In the first phase, you should also look out for the fire swirling around Zavin, which is damaging to players in its radius, and signals the slightly more deadly fire waves he shoots out in lines towards the edge of the circular arena. Athor continually gives the tank a DOT, which should be countered by your group's healers' passive heals. Lightning rune AoEs are also cast by Athor and should be avoided. The fight enters its second phase once Zavin is killed, and depending on whether you split the damage on both bosses in the first phase or focus only Zavin will determine how difficult the second phase will be. Athor gains a new AoE attack, which creates patches of lightning AoE circles in random spots around the room every 15 seconds. During this phase, healers should do as much DPS as possible and recharge Magicka, ready to burst panic heal the group during the lightning phase, which will result in a few members failing to avoid the extremely deadly AoEs. Mobility is important, and stamina should be saved for this AoE and built up between each lightning attack. That was veteran hard mode Crypt of Hearts. Thank you for watching and good luck clearing another ESO dungeon.